Welcome to Chin Live, wherever you are, whether you're in Hong Kong, so we'll be like 6:15 a.m. in the morning, or if you're in New York or Toronto, 6:15 p.m., or if you're in the West Coast, now it's only like 3:15. Now, at this hour, as we know, if you are in Hong Kong, you will be celebrating the Mid-Autumn Festival. That said, as we all know, there are a lot of political prisoners in Hong Kong due to the extreme makeover in the Hong Kong situation. Now, we're not going to go into the finer details of the intricacies of the geopolitical tension between Canada and China, or even the national security law that is enacted just a little bit over a year ago. Now, today, we have the pleasure to have Manny Banks, who is a motivational speaker, and also, should I say, Manny, you are a life coach as well?
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah.
Award-winning author and director, but yes, life coach is
right.
It's fine.
And talk a little bit about hope during extreme situation like what we are facing now in Hong Kong. There is an exodus of people, more than 1,500 people leaving Hong Kong permanently to the UK because of what I just alluded to earlier. And some people relocate back to Canada for obvious reason. Hong Kong is a place where 7.5 million people live there. But if you follow the Hong Kong news, things have been different over the last 2 years or so. But I guess having hope and keeping hope alive is something that is universal. And a lot of people in Canada too, like if they are in a pressure situation, they get depressed. And I heard like in a place like, for instance, like Vancouver, where it's rainy during most of the months except in summer, which they got 2 months of summertime, so to speak. A lot of time people get very depressed when there is no sunshine of sorts, right? So how do you keep motivated? How do you keep hope alive? That's quite difficult. And you live in the UK before, and it's raining all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very good question. And, I think that wherever you are in the world, human beings, we may look different, we may speak different languages, we may eat different foods, have different cultures, but at the core of who we are, we're all the same. We're literally all the same. And the problems that we face may be different, but how we react to them, and we're pretty much going through the same things. That's what I want to say. And I know we're speaking to the people in Hong Kong that may be going through some turbulent times right now. Yeah. But I just want to say that, you have to be aware of, you can't control, there are situations and things that are outside of our control, like this, we can't control certain things in our life, in terms of government or economy and things like that, but you can always control your own thoughts, right? You can always control your own mind and yourself. And what I want you to remember is that nobody can take your personal power away from you, okay? It doesn't matter what is going on around you. You always have control of the inside of you. That's what I first want to say. And, you having, your own personal power, keeping that personal power is probably the most important thing you can do right now in a time of crisis, because right now the world is experiencing a crisis, right? Not just in Hong Kong, but let's say the world with COVID-19. Yeah. Everywhere on the news, you're seeing, this, oh my God, all these deaths are happening, all these negative stuff. And if you're not careful, it influences your mind. So you have to take time for yourself. I think that's the first thing. And you have to really look at your life and say, okay, this is my situation. Am I going to let it control me, or can I control it? Because you have 100% of control over the thoughts that you think. So one of the first things is being aware of that you have control over the thoughts that you think and the results that you have in your life. And it may sound far-fetched to some people, but just by you changing your mindset and the thoughts that you think on a daily basis from negative to positive, your whole life will change. And there's an amazing story of Viktor Frankl, okay? He was in a Nazi, he was taken prisoner in a Nazi camp, in a war camp. And they were torturing him, they were beating him. He was experiencing all sorts of, torture from the outside. But he said, no matter how much they tortured me on the outside, they can never control what I was thinking on the inside. He kept that personal power. And that's what I want the people of Hong Kong to do. I want you to know that you have personal power. And no matter what situation you may be experiencing right now, there will be a way. There is a way, because I'm telling you, you are so powerful and you are at the core a spiritual being. And you have the power to create and change any circumstance in your life. Now, if this is new information to you, it may be a bit overwhelming. But once you do that, I'm telling you, your mind will find a solution, and you will find a solution to any problem. But you have to change your thinking first. If you're constantly thinking about the problem, oh my God, the problem, oh my God, it's so bad, then that's what you're putting out. Whatever your focus goes to, your energy goes towards that. Start to flip the script and say, okay, what's the solution? Okay. Maybe start to think of, okay, what am I grateful for in my life right now? Maybe you have the health, you have a healthy body, you have a family that loves you. Focus on that love, focus on that gratefulness, and take your mind there. And as you'll do that, you'll be led through these inspiring, constructive channels. Because we know that thinking negative doesn't do anything to you, anything good.
Right.
You're actually destroying yourself more. They say we don't die, we kill ourselves with our thoughts. And so that's one of the first things, is to recognize what you're doing. Right? Because there's things that you can't control, but there's things that you can control. And I want you to be aware of how you can start to take control over your mind and over your thinking. And that will change your results and change your life.
You made a very good point that reminds me of Nelson Mandela. He was put in prison for around 2 decades. Of course, he doesn't know whether he will come out from prison. And then he became South Africa's first African president, right, of that nation. Or think about Gandhi as well. Gandhi was put in prison for long periods of time. Mm-hmm. And you need that positive energy to stay alive. But what if someone is facing life imprisonment? Then it's a totally different story, because he will lose his freedoms indefinitely. So how can you keep hope alive? In some countries where you are facing a totalitarian regime, sometimes things are more than surreal.
Mm-hmm. No, and that's a good question. I think in those situations, it's you're facing a challenge that is unbearable. I mean, the consequences, like you say, are life-threatening. You gotta know your purpose and your why you're doing what you're doing. I'm assuming either some of these fighting for their freedom, are they refugees, or are they trying to escape? I just want to get a tiny bit of a backstory on what these people are trying to do. Are they trying to leave the country? Are they trying to fight for their freedom?
No, for instance, some people, they fight for democracy, and they are using non-violent ways to hope that the government would change. But if government doesn't really give a budge, they imprison them for a long period of time. And then some people become real martyrdom. Like people in Tibet, for instance, they set themselves on fire just to protest, right? Then it's a totally different ball game. It's a much higher level of a sacrifice, human sacrifice too.
Wow. I mean, you gotta have faith. You gotta have your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? If you believe wholeheartedly in what you're doing, then I feel like nothing can stop you. You have to have a strong why, and when that desire is strong, and you have faith and you take action, it may take you down some dark roads, man. You may, like Mandela, face life in prison. But if you keep that desire, that faith in that goal, whatever you have, eventually you will see the light. And I think not only that, but think about all the other people that you are going to benefit, because sometimes we may not be motivated ourselves, But if what we're doing is going to help other people, then that can also keep us going as well. Like this idea of, democracy, so a lot of other people can enjoy freedoms, that's going to push you through as well. I think when you have a strong enough why, you can go through the pain, you can go through it. But again, you have to really, really have a strong connection to that goal, that dream that you have, and be willing to do whatever it takes, because there's an old saying, you have to pay the price, and nobody knows what the price is really. Only God or the universe knows what the price is. But if you wholeheartedly believe in what you do, that's gonna hopefully keep the light burning inside of you.
Yeah. So, the case that I mentioned is at a much different level. It's at the martyrdom level. So it's different from peak performance. I agree that like if you keep yourself motivated, especially if you're an athlete, you do a certain conditioning, you could change modality. They say these I believe in. But then let's focus a little bit more on keeping ourselves positive during the COVID crisis that we are in. It's not quite over yet. Some people say the Delta variant is getting worse, and then even if you have 2 vaccinations, you might need the 3rd shot if you are using Pfizer, BioNTech, and then I don't know about the other Moderna, whether you need the 3rd shot or not. That's a different story. So in situations like now, in some Canadian provinces and different parts of the United States, these different cases sometimes got skyrocketed, just like the stock market, high volatility. Like today, the Dow Jones fell at one point in time more than 1,000 points, right? And then it kind of retreated a little bit. It's down 600 something points. So ulterior events, it affects our way of thinking and affects our mood. Sometimes it affects people around us too. So how do we keep ourselves to stay calm and be positive?
This is what you need to do, man. I think in times like this, I would do meditation. This is what I do. I do 20 minutes every single day. I go within, because there's so much stimulation in the outside world. We're stimulated everywhere we go. We don't have time to disconnect. You need time to unplug. The world is so fast. Your mind can't keep up with it. You want to look at the news and see everything and check your phone and see 100 different things. It's impossible to keep up with everything. You have to unplug, Ed. People, unplug. Take the time. Turn off your TV. Every day, take that time to just sit in silence. Just sit with yourself. Go within. I'm telling you, Ed, when you close your eyes and you meditate for 20 minutes, you will experience the biggest bliss ever. And you do that every day for a year, 2 years, you will suddenly be like, wow. You don't need anything to make you happy. You just need to shut your eyes and connect back to who you are. Right. The problem is we've lost connection to who we are. We don't know who we are anymore, because from the age of 0 to 7, we have been told a narrative, and this narrative has been fed to us all the way in our adult lives. And we don't stop to really take a step back and analyze ourselves. And that's where personal growth, that's where self-mastery comes, by sitting and reflecting. And I'm not perfect. I'm just saying, by any means, I'm still trying to figure myself out. I'm still learning and growing. But you have to take time to unplug. You have to take time to go within, because all the answers are within, and take time to, do things that are going to recharge you, replenish you. If you're out there protesting, you're out there fighting for your freedom, that's got to take a lot of energy, man. That's got to take a lot of energy from you. So you need to make sure that you are charged and you are full so you can give. So, maybe it's, like I said, just even writing out your goal, or writing out a simple gratitude list, 10 things that you're grateful for every day. Even if it's just meditating, going within, right? Get your mind focusing on what you want, because there's a mind-made rule, okay? It says nature does not permit your mind to remain idle, okay? Remember this, nature does not permit your mind to remain idle. So if you're not consciously focusing on what you want and putting in the desires and things that you want, then unconsciously you're going to focus on what you don't want. So I think you need to take time to unplug and recharge, for sure.
Right. people need to be disconnected at times. Definitely, you cannot be wired up, psych up, like having some sort of an adrenaline rush. Especially Hong Kong people like to speculate in the stock market, and it's not healthy. And I just wonder, for those who are listening live, it's the sound quality okay? Just to give us some comments for those who are listening to the program live. And of course, for those who listen to the program later on, you cannot give comments.
And please ask us questions. We're here for you. We're here to answer any of your questions. So,
right.
Do we have any, Ed? You just relay them if you see.
Okay, there's a pink rose saying, hello, change the focus instantly. Whenever brain networks get tightened. I don't know whether you can see it.
Exactly. Very clear. And it's not simple, but we make it complicated, Change the inner focus instantly. Exactly. Take your mind and for 5 minutes, just put the focus on, okay, what things do I want to create in the world? What results do I want to see? Because as you think, you visualize. And human beings have this amazing gift that we can visualize. No other creature in the animal kingdom can do this. I don't know. I don't think my dog or a dog has the power to visualize and think like we do. And by you visualizing and seeing the picture of what you want and doing it over and over and over and over and over again, what you're doing is you will start to be taken that route, right? And you have to be able to start to like Pink Rose said, change your inner focus. But you can't do that. You can't do that when you're so heavily stimulated and when your brain is in a beta level, right?
Yeah.
You have to take time to sit back and relax, get into alpha state. That's when you can access the operating system in your mind and begin to start to change some of those habitual thoughts, because they're just habitual thoughts at the end of the day. They're not yours. They've been conditioned into you by the age of your 7 over and over and over again by your parents. But you don't have to be doing by them. You have the power to change it. And when you do, I'm telling you, things in your life will begin to change. But you have to be disciplined to do it. And it's not hard. It just takes repetition, right? How did the old ideas get in there? Through repetition. So put the new ideas the same way, through repetition.
Okay. Now, we only got 3 minutes left. I know you wrote a few books before, you mentioned when we started the program. Which book do you like best and what is it about?
That's a great question. I love all my books. But I really like Master Your Universe, 11 Universal Rules for Success. It's spiritual, so it goes deep. It's deep. And it talks about there's certain rules to life. And if you follow these rules, you'll win. Your life will improve because they're working with certain universal principles, not to get too into it. And most people are using these rules, but they're using them against themselves. I'm going to show you how to use them for yourselves. But for your viewers as well, I just wrote another one. It's called Attract Money Faster. It's 8 ways you can manifest more money. I think it's on Amazon for like $1, so you can grab it. I just did it for simple ways that you can change your money mindset and start to build a more positive relationship with money. I really recommend people check that out.
Are all your books on Amazon?
Correct. Yeah.
So these are like electronic books, right?
You can buy physical ones or you can buy electronic copies as well, ebooks. Yeah.
Okay. And for someone who has no background in motivation or human potential, which one is the first book they should consider?
I would say if you don't have any experience, I would say Attract Money Faster, because I wrote it so simple that even a 7-year-old could understand it. Master Your Universe is a little bit more complicated. It's more of a in-depth writing. Master Universe is simple, and there's simple little tricks you can use right now to bring more money into your life. And the book's online for like a couple bucks. So I just did it because I want people to have these techniques so they can improve their life. And they're simple and it's very easy to apply and very easy to understand.
So if they go into Amazon, the Kindle, I guess, and then they type your name, Manny Baines.
Literally just type the word Attract Money Faster. And it should be one,
Can it go by your last name?
Yeah, you can type in Manny Baines, Attract Money Faster, whatever you wish.
Yeah. And the other 3 will also pop up, right? Since you have a 4 different.
They should, yes, yeah, absolutely. Okay. And you post a link for your viewers if they want. Right.
Yeah, I guess like many for the last few months or so, in one of our programs, we have to focus on suffering because the force is so big that right now people cannot defend the old core values anymore. So that's why you see an exodus of Hong Kong people leaving Hong Kong to different parts of the world because of the situation, right? So I guess sometimes we need more than just motivation. We need a strategy, which, of course, like when you talk about strategy, it's not just something that could be resolved in an hour, because it requires a lot of a compromise, negotiation of what's going on in Hong Kong. It's beyond what Hong Kongers can help now.
What I want to tell you is, for you Hong Kongers, like, I commend you for what you're doing, and keep going. If I believe in you, and have faith that, this will get better. And, for you that are battling this, I think for the people that are leaving, they found their solution. But if you're really battling, I really commend you. Hats off to you. You should be really proud, because a lot of people will not have the courage to do this. And I want you to really pat yourself on the back, because you are special to take on this challenge, and you're going to learn, you're going to grow, and whatever happens, at the end of the day, just stay strong. At the end of the day, I say whatever is meant to happen is meant to happen, but just keep strong and just know that, believe that things will get better. And if not, you may have to find another solution, like leave, if that's what some people done, but just believe in your cause, believe that things will get better, because one person really can change the world. Look at Gandhi, look at Mandela. And Gandhi, changed all of India. He freed India from British rule, and he did it without using any nonviolent measures, right? So if Gandhi, this little 100-pound Indian man, could do it, you can do it. So remember those leaders and keep in high spirits. As much as we want to get angry and say, oh my God, keep in high spirits. Stay a little bit detached, but still have a burning desire for your cause, and it'll all work out.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Manny Baines, and please, for those who listen to our show, go into the Amazon website and check out those books.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day, guys. Bye.
Thank you.